Hey, welcome back to Magic City Entertainment. Hopefully, you guys are doing great today. So, today's video, I wanted to talk to you guys about anime. And one of my favorite anime to watch is My Hero Academia. And I was wondering, I'm like, why is this anime so good? Then I started to get to thinking, and I was like, you know, there are a lot of things that makes this anime very good. Here are a few things that I think are the key reasons. One, characters. So, let me say, My Hero, the way the writers handle it are perfection. They handle each character with care. They're not reckless when they're writing their stories or their background stories or whatever, and each character feels different from the last. For example, Deku and Bakugo. So Deku, spoiler, I'm pretty most of you guys all know how Deku gets his powers. Gets him from All Might. All Might hands them down to him for him. You know, he was a quirkless kid, no quirk whatsoever. There is a theory going around about how that happened, but we won't get into that. But yeah, so Deku and Bakugo, their stories are kind of the same in a way. Deku's a huge All Might fan. Bakugo is a huge All Might fan as well, but their paths are different in a way. And they did it perfectly. They really did. You know, Deku has this story of, why he wanted to be a hero, and that's why All Might gave him his powers. And there is a moment in the movies where you see a glimpse of Bakugo having All Might's power, which is lit. Honestly, it's fire. But yeah, we're not gonna talk about that. But yeah, their stories are a lot different from each other, and each character just feels amazing. Deku, his character development is great. Honestly, I enjoy it. His moments, his up and downs are very good. Bakugo, same thing. The way I look at it is that Bakugo and Deku are basically Goku and Vegeta. That's how I see it, and it's handled very well. And you got Todoroki. You have all these other characters. You have a whole bunch of different characters. Todoroki has fire and ice. He has his reasons why he doesn't use fire because of his dad. He only uses ice. And then Deku brings out that fire in him to actually use it against him. And it was amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And that's one thing this show does very well, is that they have all these characters, but they handle them all very well. And they all get screen time. Some more than others. But when the side characters are on screen, their stories are really good. And the newest season they had, a new season, all the side characters got their stories told. You got to learn a little bit more about them, from what type of person they are and everything. Like most animes that have a lot to juggle like that, kind of start to lose track of that. Nah, not this anime. This anime strictly is making sure that everybody's story is being told. And I think that's great. That is absolutely amazing. Because there's a lot. I mean, when I say a lot, I mean a lot of characters. And it's just one. This is just one class. There are multiple other classes that they still haven't even covered yet. So there's so much more to grow with the stories and the characters and everything. Even the villains have good character development, and that's crazy. Like, you wouldn't be rooting for a villain, but there are some really good villains out there. Overhaul, he wasn't the greatest villain, but his arc was pretty good. His whole arc was amazing. Honestly, the whole big conclusion. Oh, I still get goosebumps just thinking about that fight. But stuff like that. Like I'm saying, characters. You even got the teachers and everything. All Might, Gran Torino. Who else? Eraserhead. There are countless other heroes that. There's so many. There are so freaking many characters that I can't even talk about all of them because this video will be too long. But that's what I'm saying, man. The characters, they make this show. They really do. You know, and they all have their own personality and everything. They're not all the same, which is great. And that's a lot. That is a lot, honestly. But honestly, characters do make it. But the other thing that makes it even better is the story. Whew. The story is freaking fantastic, honestly. So, like I said, you have Deku, you know, he wants to be a hero. All Might gives his powers down to him and everything. And, you know, the story can just like basically being told through him, you know, him just training and all that. And then you get a glimpse of all the other kids like Bakugo, Todoroki, all these other characters, you know. And you learn their story throughout the process as well. They're all learning, you know, and they're fighting villains and everything. Like there's a moment where they're doing a training simulation and trying to rescue, you know, people, but somehow the villains find out about it and they invade, and they basically have to fight the villains, and it was dope. It was really dope. All Might came. All Might fought. I forgot it was like almost the same type of person he is, but not as strong. It was as strong as him. I forgot what the name of it. But anyway, All Might fought him. That moment was so dope. This was like season 1. This is early on. It was dope. And then there's just so other key story moments throughout. And now in the later season 4, it even had even better story moments. Like the thing is, each season gets better than the last. And that normally does not very happen as much with most animes. Some animes are good for that first season and then they fall off. You know, and they don't start to pick it back up. Nah, man. Not My Hero. My Hero has been consistent. And you can't say that with a lot of animes. You know, a lot of animes don't really get consistent. But for some reason, My Hero has just kept on chugging like a train, you know. And I'm glad they have. Because there's so much more story to be told. You know, and even the villain side has a good story. Which is, that's crazy. You know, and like they're making the villains like, yo, like you look at it like, dang, I can see why the villain's doing this. I can see why. Like I get it. I do. And you don't get that from a lot of animes. You don't feel like, oh wow, it's just a villain. I don't care. Like nah, some of these villains you actually do end up caring about. Like there's some really dope villains back there. And there's a lot of villains. There's like a lot of heroes, a lot of villains. You know, and there's so much story to be covered. You know, we're only touching the surface of what they got. Because in the manga, oh god. In a manga, it's way farther ahead than it is now, but it's good, like really good. Like the story just gets better and better and better and better and better, and that's what makes, you know, this anime so good. You got the characters, and then the characters with their story along with it builds it up. So it builds up that, you know, momentum. So when they go into the fight, you're like, yo, yes, like it's those moments, you know. But another thing that makes this thing so good are moments. There are so many moments in this anime that gives me goosebumps every time I think about it. There's this one fight I always get goosebumps. It's when Deku versus, I think it was Muscular, right? And Deku was getting beat. Like he was getting beat. Oh my god, when I tell you, I was like, yo, this man Deku, dog. I don't know if he can do it. And then he found the strength. I mean the strength inside of him to beat this dude. Oh, when I tell you I was jumping up and down for this moment, I literally was jumping up and down. Like I was like, oh my god, did that just happen? Like it was so freaking good. And the animation was perfect. Like it was perfect. You know, like it just gotten better. Like the animation has gotten better. But that moment, I was like, yeah, Deku the man. Deku is the man. Like that man did not give up. He used all the strength inside of him to knock this dude out. He knocked him out. And this is when Deku was still learning how to get 5% control of his powers. 5. Just imagine if he got full control. Oh, I already know if he gets full control. I already know what he gonna do. But I'm just saying, if he got full control, whoo, Deku's a problem, bro. Man's a problem. And then there was another moment where Bakugo and Deku fought. Oh, that moment alone, you know, they were like frenemies, basically. They're still frenemies, basically. But it became less of enemies, more friends, basically, or rivals or whatever. You know, Deku told Bakugo the truth. He literally told him the truth, flat out, how he got his powers. And like, that moment was like huge. It was huge. And to this day, Bakugo has not said a word. He has not said a word to anybody else. No one else knows but Bakugo. And that's crazy. You know, Deku trusts him. And it's crazy. I would think Bakugo would say something, but nah, man. Bakugo ain't say nothing. So that's crazy. And they ended up fighting that day too. Like they were fed up with each other. You know, Deku was tired of getting pushed around. Bakugo would push this kid. He's been pushing that kid around for years. But it's crazy because they were friends before. Yeah, it shows a flashback when they were friends, when they were kids. I was like, what? I had no idea. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying about the story. The story just gets better and better. You're learning so much about these characters as the season goes along. And that's the best part about it. You know, you think your favorite character is one character, boom. Next couple weeks, you're changing to this character. Like, yo, it's the story itself. Honestly. And these moments as well. These moments set up the story to make these moments even better. And then there's another moment, like way in the beginning, where Deku was learning his powers, or when Deku was training with All Might. Like, there are so many moments. Or you got the One for All versus All Might fight. That fight was great. Like, there's just so many moments, and there's more to come. I haven't even talked about the freaking movies, because the movies have way too many great moments in them, period. But this show, these moments are what you live for in anime. You know, I hope this stride keeps going, and I hope season 5 is as great as season 4. Because there's no going back. You have to keep going forward with great animation, great storytelling, and great character development. Yeah, I know they're going to do that. I know for a fact they're going to do that. They're not going to let us down. They haven't let us down yet. So why are they going to do it now? Anyway, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe. And as always, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.